Okay, we are in August. Book 141 is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. So this was actually the book that was the inspiration for Blade Runner, if you've seen that movie. The characters in the movie are in the book. So Rick is a bounty hunter that is tracking down androids who have come to Earth. Or on Earth in order to eliminate them because they're a threat to humans. Rachel is in the book. She does work for a corporation. There are a couple other ones. But the movie is not exactly the same. The ending is definitely not the same. It's a much more complicated book in other aspects. So it talks a lot about empathy of humans. This has all happened after a big war, and there aren't that many humans left on Earth. Some have moved away to, like, Mars, and some are just kind of on Earth. So it talks about empathy, it talks about caring. There is quite a bit about animals in this book that I don't really remember being in the movie. But it's a big plot line that's somewhat important to the story. I think at times the book is really good. I think it makes you think about humanity and how we treat each other and that. Though at times I struggled with things like there's this underlying character, Mercer, that I struggle a little bit with. And there's another character that Mr. Isidore, who has been affected by the war and the fallout. So it's more complicated than the movie. Though the movie's great, it's not exactly the book. I did enjoy the book, but there were some problems with it. So I ended up giving it a 3.5, but I would recommend it. 142 is Making It So by Patrick Stewart, so his memoir. Thought it was good. I gave it a 3.5. I'm not going to give a memoir a 5, but it was good. I didn't know hardly anything about Patrick Stewart other than his work. The first half focuses on his family and all of his early theater work, and then the back half he does talk about Star Trek and X-Men, but in not as much detail. I really enjoyed the theater work and kind of how he got started in the business. His first big job where he got to interact with Vivien Leigh is amazing. I just thought the stories he told about her were so interesting. So, thought it was a great memoir, and I would recommend it. Last one is 143, The Drift by C.J. Tudor. This was an audiobook for me. I'm not going to give any spoilers. It is a much more complicated book than the description I'm going to give you. So there's essentially 3 groups that are stuck in a snowstorm. There's Hannah's group, and they're on this bus that has just crashed, and they're stuck in this drift, and they're having a hard time getting out of the bus, and they're trying to figure out how do you get out of the bus and then make their way up to the mountain where there's like a retreat up there they're trying to get to. The second group is Meg's group. They're on a gondola, and that is stopped. They're not really sure why it stopped, some sort of power outage. There's a group of them on there. So same thing. How do you get out of the gondola and maybe get to the station at the top to then get to this retreat? And then the last group, Carter, is at that retreat, this little house or whatever compound, with other people. And they are all a little bit interconnected, but I don't want to give away why. The only thing I'll say is they all live in kind of a future dystopian society where there's been this pandemic, and they're all kind of dealing with that, and that kind of adds a complication to the story. And beyond that, I don't want to give anything away because it would ruin part of the story. I ended up giving it a 3.5. I could maybe give it a higher rating if I think about it. In general, it was good. The twists in there that were good, things I didn't see coming. So it was kind of a nice, surprise a little bit. I thought the general dystopian topic was handled well. And I would recommend it. I mean, I thought it was a good story.